Nicely done. Thank you. Speaking of icons from a great football team, this 1975 athlete was known as the natural one who excelled at everything he ever did. Here in 10 varsity letters, get this, in 4 sports. I'm not sure how you do that, but you gotta be pretty quick to get off the baseball field and onto the track thing in one deal. So anyway, he was a track starter and a track standout as a freshman and a sophomore. He was a 3-year varsity basketball starter. He was a standout catcher, and when I say standout, he was offered a contract by the Baltimore Orioles organization. And on the gridiron, anybody who knows anything about football in the Irv Kunish era knows that he was an icon as a quarterback and a safety. He was a first-team all-conference quarterback as a junior and a senior, and he was known as the engineer of the Irv Kunish wishbone offense and the undefeated 1974 Marines. It was always said that the 2 people who touched the ball the most were the 2 best of that era, and that was Dan Lefevre and Tim Farley. One's a center touching the ball, the other one's a quarterback touching the ball. Heck, Dave, they never threw back then, did they, Dave? Huh? But he was pretty good. You know, nobody says they're a great wide receiver, blocker type guy, but the next guy was. I'll get to that. Our individual here that we're discussing was offered football scholarships by Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Minnesota, and he chose to attend UW La Crosse. But not only was he a standout athlete, a football player, he was also a 2-time academic All-American. He was a 4-year starting catcher for the Marinette Marine baseball team, and he led the Bay Conference his junior year with a .590 batting average. Now I'm telling you, do the math on that one. Okay, he had to be in great shape because he ran around the bases a lot. He was also a 2-time all-conference forward in basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognition of not only a great athlete, but what everyone that I've ever known in Marinette said, he was a great natural leader. Welcome back home, Tim Farley.
Wow, Jennifer from George Island. Wow. My sister told me to button my coat, but I'm not going to because I think I'm going to get a little agitated here tonight. Ms. Blair's Batcher, you were a good tight end. You don't think throwing to a 6'7" guy was fun? It was. Dan Lefevre, you were the hammer. And Dave Frank, you were a good wide receiver. So, this is just a great honor. I thought of words I could tell you about what athletics meant to me, and everything seemed cliche, just not adequate. So I want to share with you a story that I think will express it to you. This is a 90-degree, 90% humidity mid-August day. Okay, I'm 14 years old, 1971. My very first football practice ever in pads. I'd gone to Catholic grade school, no organized football there, and we had done 3 days of conditioning. This is the first practice in pads. And this was a joint varsity, junior varsity practice, and we were doing special teams. And the junior varsity was kicking off to the varsity. Now, I normally did the kicking for the junior varsity that year, but for some reason, I was not doing it during this drill. I was over on the sidelines, probably in the doghouse for something, I'm not sure. But now that kicker is instructed to stay back as a safety in case the runner breaks through, to stop a touchdown. So, ball's kicked off, whoever the guy was doing the kicking runs down the field. He's the first guy in the middle of the scrum, runs down the field. Of course, the varsity guy breaks through and runs 90 yards. So everyone's walking back, and we're all waiting to get balled out, the junior varsity guys were. And in this silence, this voice, I will not forget the volume and inflection in this voice as long as I live. Farley, what in the hell are you doing? So I'm sitting on the sideline, I don't know what to say, so there's 5 seconds of silence, and one of the assistant coaches in a real mousy voice, it wasn't John Harris, he never spoke in a mousy voice, and it was like, one of the assistant coaches, I remember this, said, Coach, that wasn't Farley, he's over on the sideline. So I'm saying, oh, good, I'm out of it. Okay, all right, so 5 more seconds goes by, same voice, same volume, same inflection. Well, it should have been Farley. Now, you understand, I'm the first Farley to go to the public high school. Okay? I have my two older brothers, exceptional athletes at Catholic Central. And I'm looking over my shoulder, and there's my brother Mike practicing through the cattails here, and I'm wondering, is it too late for me to slither out of here and get back over there? Well, that didn't happen. So fast forward 3.5 years, I'm walking off the field for the last time of a typically successful Earth-Cornish football season. That same man walks out of the field and meets me before I even got to the sideline and gave me the biggest bear hug of my life. There's a picture of that bear hug on the table out there. I want to tell you that that picture means more to me than any trophy, any award, any newspaper clipping, anything I've ever received, because it told me this. So you join any organization, a military unit, an athletic program, business that has an expectation of unparalleled success, and Marinette does. It's a marquee program in this state. You join one of those organizations and you show any sign that you don't appreciate it or you're not given 100% to maintain it, you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it in the harshest terms, and I think you should. But when you get it right, you'll get that trophy in a trophy case. You'll get that reward and you'll get that hug. So it taught me a lot, just that series of events in that 3.5 years. So it's a great honor to be here, to know I'm in a class with all these other guys, and Tricia too. Most of these guys I played ball with, and Jim Magnuson. I mean, I'm in the same class with a big league pitcher. Just tell real quickly something about Jim Magnuson. So Jim came home from his All-Star break in 1971, threw batting practice to our American Legion team in his blue jeans. And guess who was sent out to catch him? That same abused 14-year-old Tim Farley. So, trying to catch 100-mile-an-hour, hissing, tailing fastballs when you're 14 years old from a guy in his blue jeans, and know I'm in the same induction class as him, that's really quite an honor. So, I want to acknowledge my wonderful family out here, love them all, my older brothers and sisters who I always looked up to, always aspired to be like. My younger brothers and sisters who are always there for me, always unconditionally my biggest fans. And my parents, who I know are watching, be nothing without them, be nothing without them. So I just want to end by talking to the current crop of Marinette athletes and maybe parents out here who might have young ones who might soon be wearing purple and white. I live 2,500 miles away, and I may get back here only a couple times a year, but I know, and I watch, and I listen. And when you guys lose, I suffer. And when you win, I celebrate, as sure as if it's me sitting out in the middle of Norman Field, 1974. So I tell people this everywhere I go, and I always will. I wouldn't change where I was born and raised for anything. I am so lucky to have been born and raised in this town. So you can take this kid out of Marinette, but this kid will always be a Marinette.